There's a place where dreams were once forged under blinding Klieg lights, and where today algorithms quietly decide what the world watches next. A place where stars were crafted like constellations, their lives polished into perfection, and where now celebrity rises and falls in the span of a single scroll. Hollywood hasn't just changed over the decades, it has transformed, reinvented, shattered, and rebuilt itself into something almost unrecognizable. But beneath all that glitter and reinvention lies a deeper truth. The story of Hollywood is really the story of us, and how the way we watch has reshaped an entire industry. The Golden Machine. Night in Hollywood, 1941. Klieg lights sweep across a rain-soaked MGM backlot, illuminating a painted New York street. A young actress stands shivering between takes, wrapped in a borrowed coat and bound by a contract that dictates her entire future. Somewhere above her, a mogul studies a call sheet, ready to determine whether she becomes a star or vanishes from Hollywood memory with the flick of a pen. Fast forward to Hollywood today. The lights are LED screens, not Klieg beams. Decisions unfold on video calls filled with executives, producers, and data analysts studying engagement charts and predictive models. A superhero sequel is rewritten based on algorithmic trends. Hollywood still makes dreams, but now it measures them in data points. This is the story of how Hollywood transformed from a tightly controlled dream factory into a sprawling digital empire reshaped by technology, corporate mergers, global audiences, and the shifting desires of viewers everywhere. And through every era, the audience has always been the silent architect. Hollywood changes with us. Gods, then influencers. In the Golden Age, stars weren't just famous, they were sculpted. Studios invented personas the way painters created masterpieces. They chose the names, the hairstyles, the public romances. Fan magazines sold fantasies, and studio publicists buried any truth that threatened the illusion. For the public, stars seemed untouchable, glamorous deities glowing on 20-foot screens. But behind the curtain, many lived in fear of slipping. One misstep could lead to suspension or sabotage. The image was priceless, the individual replaceable. Today, the star system looks different, but it hasn't died. Now, public image is shaped by social media, paparazzi, influencers, management teams, fan campaigns, and viral trends. Celebrities speak directly to millions, bypassing studios, but at the cost of constant visibility and judgment. Freedom has increased, privacy has evaporated. A star can build an empire from their phone or implode from it. The pedestal survived, it simply moved onto the timeline. From palaces to platforms. Imagine a Saturday night in 1940. A glowing marquee invites crowds dressed in hats and gloves into a grand movie palace. People settle into velvet seats for a double feature, a newsreel and a cartoon. Going to the movies isn't a special treat, it's a ritual. Back then, studios didn't just produce movies, they distributed them and owned the theaters that played them. The supply never stopped. Dozens of films a year from each studio kept the screens full and the public hungry. Then came the 1948 Paramount decision, a Supreme Court ruling that forced studios to give up their theater chains. The once unbreakable machine fractured independent theaters emerged. The studio system weakened, and the Golden Age began its steady fade. Today, Hollywood's distribution model has flipped upside down. Studios release fewer films, but spend staggering amounts on franchises and blockbusters. Intellectual property dominates the marquee: superheroes, sequels, reboots, and cinematic universes, and above everything else looms streaming. Movies debut online and in theaters simultaneously. Shows drop entire seasons overnight. Audiences binge, pause, rewind, and abandon. Success is measured not by ticket sales alone, but by algorithmic engagement and app retention. The movie palace didn't vanish. It multiplied and shrank into living rooms, laptops, and pockets. Who holds the power? In the Golden Age, power had a face. Studio moguls ruled with personal taste, instinct, and iron authority. If a mogul wanted a film made, it happened. If he didn't, no amount of passion or persuasion could bring it to life. As the old system dissolved, power fragmented. Agents became kingmakers, directors turned into auteurs, independent producers carved out territories of influence. But today, Hollywood is shaped by forces far beyond studio gates. The industry is controlled largely by global corporations and tech giants whose interests stretch across streaming, telecommunications, media libraries, theme parks, and international markets. Decisions are made with one eye on creativity and the other on quarterly earnings. Data has become a new kind of mogul. Executives analyze viewing trends, retention curves, and algorithmic predictions to decide which stories deserve life. In the Golden Age, a picture could be greenlit by a hunch. Now it may require a spreadsheet. Art still fights for a seat at the table. Only now, the table is in a corporate boardroom. Who gets to be seen? The Golden Age crafted iconic glamour but offered a painfully limited vision of who could step into the light. Women were often confined to narrow roles. People of color were sidelined or stereotyped. Queer characters were coded or erased. Stories reflected a narrow slice of humanity while claiming to represent the entire world. It wasn't just an omission, it was deliberate storytelling shaped by the biases and comfort zones of those in power. Today, the lens has widened. Streaming platforms, global markets, and shifting cultural expectations have opened the door to more stories centered on women, people of color, LGBTQ+ communities, and international perspectives. Films and series from around the world reach viewers far beyond their home countries. Progress is real, but uneven. Diversity rises in bursts and retreats under economic pressure. Some blockbusters embrace representation, others retreat into the safety of old formulas. Inclusion behind the camera remains inconsistent. Hollywood hasn't fully arrived at equity, but it is moving, pushed forward by audiences who refuse to accept invisibility. Inside the Dream Factory. Working in Hollywood has always been a paradox. In the Golden Age, the studio lot was a kingdom of controlled magic. It offered stability, steady paychecks, constant production, but demanded obedience. Long hours, dangerous sets, and limited autonomy were routine. Unions eventually strengthened workers' rights, but individual artists still felt small within the towering machine. Today, the machine is less visible, but more volatile. Creative workers jump from project to project, navigating a landscape of freelance hustle, shrinking residuals, and digital auditions. The glamour is still there, but so is exhaustion. The 2023 strikes revealed growing fears about the future of creative labor.
We will not be having our jobs taken away and giving to robots. We will not allow you to take away our dignity.
Concerns about fair pay in the streaming era and anxiety over AI's creeping presence, writers worried about being replaced by algorithms, actors worried about digital replicas, background performers feared their likenesses being captured and reused forever. Hollywood once offered stability without freedom. Now it offers freedom without stability. Both eras demand sacrifice, just in different currencies. The audience multiplied. Perhaps the most dramatic shift lies not in Hollywood itself, but in how we experience it. In 1940, there was only one way to see a film, in a theater, surrounded by strangers, united by a single beam of light. Movies were a shared heartbeat. Today, the audience is fractured and multiplied. Some watch on massive IMAX screens, others on phones while commuting. Some binge 10 episodes in a night. Others scroll through clips on TikTok without ever watching the full film. Viewers pause, rewind, research, react, and comment in real time. Attention is scattered, but passion is global. A niche film can become a worldwide phenomenon. A forgotten movie from the 90s can suddenly explode on streaming. Fandoms form online communities that exceed anything the Golden Age could have imagined. Hollywood no longer speaks to one audience. It speaks to countless micro-audiences, each demanding to be seen. And that demand reshapes Hollywood every single day. What remains? So what, after all this evolution, remains of the Hollywood that once dazzled the world with polished dreams? Not the factory system, not the Hays Code, not the monopolies, the palaces, or the carefully crafted illusions. But something deeper survived. Somewhere on a set today, a young actor waits for their first close-up, breath trembling with hope. A writer battles a blank page, trying to shape emotion into dialogue. A director calls for quiet, trusting strangers to create a moment that will outlast them. Technology changed. Business models shifted. Audiences evolved. But the longing stayed the same, the longing to feel something, to escape, to witness another life unfold. Hollywood is not a place and never has been. It's a promise. A fragile, flickering space between fantasy and reality, projection and perception. Whether on a towering silver screen or glowing from the palm of a hand, the dream factory still hums, always changing, always surviving, always chasing the next heartbeat, willing to believe. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below, as it helps support this channel. Also, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to get notified of our newest videos. Thanks for watching.